This is election season, so there is, of course, the Hellhole Swamp Festival is today, and so that has essentially robbed us of all of our supervisor candidates, countywide candidates, and 2 of our District 6 candidates are there. But we do have one of them who's here with us today, so we're glad about that. The candidates who are here for District 4, and then we'll start with District 4, and I'll call them up in a minute. But we have Mr. Aldo Napoli, we have Mr. James Royce. For District 5, we have Dennis Fish, the incumbent, and District 6, as I mentioned, we have James Law. For the record, invitations were offered out to Tommy Newell and Bud Thames, and neither could attend today. So, so let's start off, if we can, with District 4. We'll give each candidate 3 minutes to introduce themselves, tell them why they're running, and then we will actually bring up the other district candidates. Since most of these issues are countywide, we'll let everybody kind of answer questions together once everyone has introduced themselves. So starting off District 4, which for folks who don't know, that encompasses nearly all of Sangaree, Tall Pines, College Park, James Sineth, where is he? His neighborhood as well, Hartnett Boulevard, around there.
Man's known, nobody's ever heard of it.
Yes, that's why I wanted to bring it up. And so we will start off with Mr. Aldo Napoli.
I'm going to read a little bit as I talk, just because I'm a lot better writer than I am speaker. But first of all, I want to thank them for the invite today to come out here and have a chance to speak with y'all. Also want to thank y'all for the update on the bridge, because I'm one of the poor souls that was affected by it. I work at the other end of Cypress Gardens. And it added about 45 minutes and 10, 15 miles to my commute. So quicker that would be done, the better. I'm trying not to take up too much of your time today, but a little bit about me. I was born in Charleston in 1983. I grew up in Somerville and moved to Gibbons when I was about 11 years old. Not sure if you've ever heard of Gibbons, but it's a small rural town outside of Ridgeville. So I understand a lot of the challenges that go along with living in rural areas. I spent most of my time there until I got married to my wife, Ashley, 9 years ago. That's when we chose to move to Berkeley County, Sangaree neighborhood to be exact. Where we have since had 3 children. We have Joey, who's 8, Gabby, who's 7, and Abigail, who's 6. I work for DuPont Kevlar, producing a product that helps keep our law enforcement officers here and troops abroad safe. I also work at Mellow Mushroom in Somerville on my days off, and I recently started a film production company where we put out several commercials and a feature film. I attend church at Divine Redeemer in Hanahan, where I'm a member of the Knights of Columbus. And people ask me why I'm running for council. My answer usually is because I'm genuinely concerned about my neighborhood, my community, and my county. I have a lot invested here. My 3 children go to school here. I work both my jobs here. My wife works here in the county. My son plays sports here. I believe that I'm an average Berkeley County citizen, and I would be happy, willing to work hard, and do my best to represent others like myself. But in order to properly represent, one has to be involved at all levels. Not just someone who would be willing to talk to people in the community. Not just someone who attends political and government functions. And not just someone who analyzes data and figures. But someone who will incorporate all these things. I'm not the type of guy who's just going to say things. My father taught me that actions speak louder than words. I'm the guy that will do and who already has. By listening and talking with members of the community, I've learned about several issues. Issues they felt so strongly about, they devoted countless hours of personal time to research them. I then learned what I could about these issues as well. I, with some other people, decided the best course of action would be to ask for assistance from our local government. I came before the current county council, not as a candidate, but as a concerned resident and asked for assistance from them. Both times they agreed and legislation was passed regarding both of them. Whenever I ask someone what's the most important thing that you expect from your government, their local government, the answer is always mostly public safety. I don't believe the sheriff's department is being given the necessary tools to grow alongside the rest of the county. While having a one-on-one meeting with Sheriff DeWitt to discuss some of the struggles the sheriff office faces, I learned a number of things. I learned the sheriff submits a budget to the county supervisor, and the county supervisor adjusts it as he sees necessary before submitting it to the rest of the council. I learned our law enforcement and detention officers are paid on a different scale than the rest of the county employees. I feel this is not right and not the best way for employee retention. And why is employee retention so important? Because when an officer leaves and is replaced, it's a costly process. They go through 12 weeks of training. That's 3 months of paying an officer that is not being utilized. It doesn't end there. The newly hired officer has to wait for an opening in another training class. So this is another period of up to several months he's paid and not able to perform the functions of his job. The cost of replacing a police or detention officer adds up. There are many variables that go into it. Separation costs, recruitment costs, new employee costs, and training costs. Not to mention the valuable years of experience that goes with that person. And that can actually go for any position for county employees. I appreciate the county trying to get the costs associated with hiring 16 new detention officers in next year's budget. However, if we don't keep these officers here, then we're going to be throwing that money away. When it comes to finances, I, as much as anyone realizes how important it is to spend the taxpayers' money wisely, not to waste any of it. I understand that every dollar that the county spends was earned by an individual or business that worked hard for it. This should always be considered before spending any of it. I feel using innovative ideas and solutions, we can save even more of the public's money. I understand the answer to a problem is not always throwing money at it. Currently, the council isn't given all the information I feel necessary to make the best decisions. If the council isn't getting this information, it's not being presented to the constituents either. I believe the current council has done a great job of addressing some concerns. I know change doesn't come overnight. However, I feel with certain training I've had, the passion I have for government transparency, the realization that every dollar is from the public and trusted to us by them to be spent wisely, and the willingness to not just talk, but act for the betterment of the community and the county makes me the best candidate for Berkeley County Council District 4.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is James Royce.
Hi, I'm Jim Royce, and I have been here on many occasions in the past. I served as a member on the Berkeley County School Board, and I just hope that you all don't hold that against me. It's been a rough time with the school board, and one of my co-conspirators back in the day is here with us today, Jimmy Henson. And we served also with Terry Hardesty, and I tell you, if the three of us were on the school board, we wouldn't have been suffering through the anguish that you all have seen in the paper here over the past few months. But today I'm here on a little different trail, and I'm running this time for Berkeley County Council. Our area representative, Kathy Davis, stepped down, and she had done a fine job. And I just want to kind of keep things going because things on Berkeley County Council have been moving in the right direction. And I would just like to see that it keeps on moving in that right direction. And I have put out on the tables there kind of a card that indicates the things that I'm going to be working on. First of all, I've taught at Trident Technical College for a lot of years. We had graduation last night, and it was a wonderful celebration, and things are good. And this is part of what Berkeley County has done too. We are a contributor to Tri-Technical College and the nice new nursing building that has been built down there, and it's supplying our community with an educated workforce, and I think that you all can be proud of what's going on. I've been living here for 28 years, and sharing those 28 years and 6 more with my lovely wife right here, and she's my campaign manager and my political consultant, and she tries to keep me on the straight and narrow, which is a hard job sometimes, but I thank her. On the card, it kind of gives you an idea of the things that I'm going to be working on, and Aldo mentioned that public safety and the sheriff's office and the funding of people to run our jail facility. It's an embarrassment that we haven't been able to support our own building that is supposed to be there to help house criminals. And so, and not only do we need that, but we need boots on the ground and cars on the road. We have a very rapidly growing community. You all know that. And with that being said, more people means that we need some more support. And so, that's one of my primary issues. The second one is infrastructure. With all of the people moving into the area, we're going to need an improved road system. We obviously need some road help out on Cypress Garden, but that's a small area. Old Highway 52, 176, and of course Clements Ferry Road is awful. And there's going to be more and more people that are going to be coming into the area, and we need to support this 1-cent sales tax and get it continued until we get the roads caught up with the number of people that we have coming in. Finally, I like to be considered as a business candidate because I like to see businesses growing in Berkeley County to support all the people that are moving in. And one of the greatest hindrances to having an increased number of businesses have been our impact fees. And with the impact fees piling up, it's really cutting down on the ability of people to start up small businesses, which will in turn support the population and provide jobs. So that particular issue needs to be addressed, and I want to be first in line to do that, but I'm telling you, there is a funding issue, and we're going to have to look at it hard. The guy that knows about the funding issue, you're going to hear from him in a minute, is Dennis Fish. Dennis is a CPA, sits on the council, and has done a wonderful job. And I think that we all need to give him a hand for all of the work that he's done over the years. There's a guy sneaking up on me over here trying to grab this microphone. I see him. I only have to do that. But I appreciate your support, and if there's anything that I can do to help you, on the card is my email and phone number. So look forward to talking to you.
Thank you. If I can invite all the candidates who are here up here just so we can do a quick Q&A. And I'll take Dennis out, please. Q&A, question and answer. And then I'm going to start with Charlie, then I'm going to give him the microphone to take over because I got to go to work. Go ahead.
Okay, I have 2 questions. My first biggest concern is Alcoa. They do not have a contract for electricity with Sandy Cooper, and basically they can walk out the damn door. This county's going to lose $3 million worth of taxes. I realize county council can't do anything about it, but my God, we got to do something about it. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I mean, I agree with that something's going to be done. You're right. We on council have no control over that. However, I think we need a resolution to support that Sandy Cooper. I mean, it's owned by a state utility. I think it's something we do. We cannot afford to lose the jobs. I agree with that.
Not just the $3 million and tax money and stuff like that we'll be losing each year, but that's a number of high-paying, skilled jobs that you'll be taking out of the county. These are people that make decent money, live in the neighborhoods, spend their money here. So whether it be a resolution or whatever it takes, we need to do what we can to keep them here.
Well, the governor has said that she would get involved with the rates that Santee Cooper was charging Alcoa, and she would do whatever needed to be done to keep Alcoa here. What's always made Berkeley County a great place to do business is two things: cheap power and fresh water. We still have fresh water, power not so much cheap anymore, but I think Santee Cooper and the board of directors of Santee Cooper will do everything that they can to keep the rates down low enough that we can keep the industry in Berkeley County.
Yeah, we all need to get behind keeping Alcoa here. It is obviously one of the major employers in the area, and a lot of good people are working there. So let's get our council to do what they can to provide the support.
As moderator, I have another question. Economically, we have two counties in Berkeley County. South from Moncks Corner to Hanahan, where I live at, Daniel Island, and then from Somerville to Moncks Corner is prosperous, but Lebanon, Cross, St. Stephen's, Jamestown, where I'll be going at for the Hell Hole Swamp Festival, Schulerville are all economically depressed, and people who live up that way have to commute many, many miles to get a decent job. What's your opinion about what we can do in county council to do something about that?
I believe we've taken a good first step in investing some of the money from the 1 cent sales tax into the roads out in some of these more rural areas. When I grew up in Givens, we lived on a dirt road that if it rained too bad, you get stuck on the way home. So I think just small things like that just give them another sense of being incorporated with the rest of the county, and just offer businesses. I know I work for DuPont. We're kind of in a more rural area. Just make sure that they know that's a good option for them to be in these areas.
You've been talking to Steve Davis again. One of the things, in the last budget, we addressed that too, is that the supervisor shut down the Goose Creek office. The largest part of the population is in Goose Creek. And we restored that. However, the treasurer the auditors refused to open up right now. One of the arguments was that why the people on north end of the county voted against that. They didn't think it was fair. There's that word fair again that Democrats used, to open up the office to serve most of the people. The same issue went with Parks and Recreation, Moncks Corner, and Cross. They believe that the county ought to support a recreation district, serve all this stuff in Overland Park. There's not that many people up there, and I agree we should do that. But what's the cost to us to do it? I don't know what the answer to that is. I think my responsibility as the council is to serve what the needs of most of the people are. It would be nice to do all that for everybody, but we could not afford the tax increase it would take to do it. It's that simple. I think we just need to take a look at what the priorities are and meet those and solve the ones we need to take care of the ones the most problem.
You just heard Mr. Fish say that he didn't know what else we could do, and he's been on county council for a while, so if he doesn't know, and I'm not even on county council, I sure don't know. The things we can do is make sure that infrastructure is in place to the point that it will attract businesses to come to those areas. Short of that, without studying the issues and knowing what's available as far as county help for businesses relocating into Berkeley County, I don't have a good answer for it.
Well, this is not just a county council thing. This is a school system thing too. Because when I was on the school board, you just don't have the population density up in that part of the county that is there to support with infrastructure. You know, we have put schools there, but you know, if you look at the population in the schools, they're very low compared to what you have down in the lower end of the county. So to invest a lot of money into that area, you know, you're going to have to do it slow and move the businesses up in that direction. But, you know, we're shooting ourselves in the foot trying to get businesses up there when we slap them with an impact fee to begin with. So, you know, it's a lose-lose situation, and it's unfortunate.
I wish to thank all the candidates for answering that tough question. Anyone else have any questions for our candidates? Okay, Fred, the president of the Fleet Reserve.
I have a solution for those people up there. Do like Bruce Creek did. Form your own recreation committee and make the people up there pay for it like we do down here. That's the answer.
Okay, please stand up.
As a real estate appraiser, most of those people are up there because they want to be up there. They're in areas in the country because they want to be in the country. The more we move up there, we might get the businesses, but we're going to run those people, but they want to be in the country. Somebody needs to realize they're in the country because they want to be there. Not because they want somebody to bring them. They don't want the crowd to come with them.
Okay. Any other questions for our county council? Oh, we'll have can you stand up again, Fred?
I got, if I remember right, the 1% or 1% sales tax ran for, was it 7 years? Is that correct?
That's right.
How long will the next one run for?
Probably the same thing, 7 years.
Probably, or it will?
I mean, I don't know for sure. I think when the resolution, anticipating, I think it's 7 years, what we're anticipating. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Can I address one of the things that's been brought before? There's been a lot of comments about the impact fee. Number one, we put that impact fee in place was about 8 years ago with the Jedburgh interchange. And one of the things to guarantee the loan to do that, we had to find the money somewhere. We committed $500,000 a year to that. Now I believe in our budget we can find a way to fund that $500,000 and take that burden away from that. He's exactly right. The impact fee has hurt Berkeley County. Back when we implemented that, what, 12 years ago? If you remember 12 years ago, things were going very, very well. The biggest thing we talked to was realtors. At the time, they had no problem with having, say, $1,000, $1,500 to each house. It was not a big deal in the scheme of the house cost. With the recession going on, it hurt us. And there's people in my own district, around College Park area, and I-26, I know of people who have called me that cannot open a business because they cannot afford the impact fee. It's ludicrous. We need to change it, but I think we can change it by the budget process and get rid of that. I mean, the first thing to do is find out a way to fund it, and then we can remove that. So that's what our goal is this next 4 years, or before 4 years, is to change that.
Any rest of you want to answer that question?
Right, when I was at the county council meeting the other night, they were talking about the 1% sales tax and the impact fee and everything. And they brought up the only way they can get rid of it is if the 1% sales tax goes through. That's what I heard. I'm sorry if that's incorrect. Now, I feel there are other possibilities to, instead of this impact fee and then using the 1% sales tax in lieu of, I've talked to some real estate friends of mine and things like that about, adding the $1,000 onto the cost of a house, things like that, because things like the 1% sales tax cost to people in the county an average of $200 to $400 a year. So, a family, I mean. So in 7 years, that's already been $2,800 out of my pocket. Another 7 years is another $2,800 out of my pocket. And if the county, the voters think that it's worth it to them, I'm all for it. Go for it. If they don't, then I don't think the impact fee should lay on that because it's slowing down growth.
Any address it? You want to address it? Do we have any other questions for our county council candidates? Okay, you're dismissed. Thank you very much. Lieutenant Governor Moore, if any of you will have any questions for him,